not done. I made that video and decided I should make a second one because I have something else on my table that I wanted to tell you about. But this is topical now that they're separate videos, and I don't have to restart another video again. That last one I redid many times. Anyways, I've been paying into Japanese Social Security sometimes while I've been here. When I was a JET teacher, I paid into Social Security. If you're a JET, you pay in and then you leave and you fill out a bunch of paperwork and then they give you money back. I don't think it's all of it for Americans. It is for some other countries. Gosh, my hair looks really funny. I really need a haircut. I got to do it before a modeling job next week when I'm supposed to look all business-like. This just doesn't look very business-like. I'm shaggy. Anyways, so you have the National Pension Plan and National Pension Insurance. When I lost my job at the plastics company, I had been paying into another pension program specifically for people in the plastics world, and I got some money back from that. But I had to go and stop the payments to the National Pension Service. And when I did, I filled out this form, and they said, okay, now you don't have to pay Social Security. So that's great, because I didn't have a job. And still occasionally I would get letters that were like, if you retired and you've only worked this much, we're going to give you $20 a month. It's like, great, for Japanese retirement. But then they started hassling me again recently. They started sending me forms because I had stopped payment, and I had filled out forms to say I'm stopping payment into Japanese Social Security. They said, okay, if it's part of your work, then the company matches it, and that's different. That would have been nice if I could have stopped it when I was a JET and just gotten more money. Anyways, so they've been sending me all these forms saying, please pay this, and then they send me a whole bunch at a time. Oh, here, we want you to pay $500 into the Japanese pension fund. And I said, no, that's ridiculous. That's more than half my rent here. I'm not going to do it. And then they would call me once in a while, and because they have to be polite to you on the phone, the amount of formal Japanese made it so hard to understand. We humbly ask that you did you receive this form? Did you get this? And did you understand it? I said, no, I didn't understand it. And they said, well, you should understand it. You want us to explain it to you? I said, no, not on the phone. Pension systems, tax documents, don't explain them to me on the phone. Find someone who speaks English, or talk to me in person when I have a dictionary, or send me a letter, preferably in English, because I'm not going to sit down and read all that Japanese. That's a lot of kanji to look up just to figure out how the tax system works. And so they said they'd send me a letter once a while ago, and they sent me a letter. It was in Japanese, and so I just put it in the pile and said, I will go there sometime and fix this, and never did. So finally they called me last week, and they said, can you do this? Can you meet with us? And I said, yeah. They said, we'll send someone by. And I said, great, send someone by. They said, well, can they come tomorrow? I said, no, I won't be home tomorrow. Are they there in the afternoon? No. So finally, this morning, guy shows up. Really nice guy, and they're actually outsourcing it. It's not the Japanese government. And the guy was in a rush. I just felt very hurried with everything he did. But he had it all down. He said, you're a foreigner. Paying into the Japanese Social Security system is not what you want to do. You have to pay in for 30 years, and yeah, is it 30 years? 25 years? 30 years. You have to pay in for 30 years, and you have to be 68 to get money out of it, and you have to still be in Japan. And I can't guarantee you that I will be here working for 30 years and retiring in Japan. So I don't think that works for me. And he said, it doesn't. Yeah, all these forms, all these papers you have, this whole pile of papers here, all of this. He said, take that, tear it up, throw it out. You don't need that. I'll give you another piece of paper, another form that it was the same form I filled out before that says I'm stopping payment because I'm not paying into Japanese Social Security. He said, okay, you fill out this form, and then here's a receipt that says that I took this form from you, and then here's a separate piece of paper that if you don't get a postcard that says that this form was turned in and registered and you have to then sign something and send it back, they confirm that they got the form and send you a piece of paper saying that they got the form. You have to sign that piece of paper and confirm with them that you got the confirmation that you got the form. Send that back. So that's the final thing. And this may happen every 2 years that I'm in Japan. And so the separate piece of paper is if I don't get that postcard in June, I have to come back and complain to them that he didn't do his job, or that I gave him the paperwork and he was tracking it down the line to make sure the paperwork got to the right people. But anyways, it's probably simplifying my life that this guy showed up in a hurried manner and did all this paperwork for me. He just seemed jittery and buzzed the whole time. And then he was very nice about it. And he lives in the neighborhood. And then just before he leaves, he goes, "Oh, I want to give you this." And he gave me one Japanese super energy drink. I don't know if you've seen my old videos about this from when I was in Wakayama. I don't suggest drinking these. Anyway. Sometimes they help with jet lag a little bit, but just make me feel jittery and uncomfortable. Ugh. And so many people just function on them in this society. It's kind of strange. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I wasn't going to refuse it because he was so nice about it. And, oh, yes, here, you have to have an energy drink. And it turns out he lives in the neighborhood. I gave him my business card in case he ever wants some wine. It was a really weird, no, you shouldn't pay any taxes. Here, sign this. Okay, I gotta go. Here, have an energy drink. But it was a very efficient way to deal with the government services, and I can see why they're outsourcing to him, even though they have a massive staff over at the city office, or at the ward office, and the city office, and almost every other office. Okay, that's enough about that. I don't know what I'm going to call this video.